Some want to prevent a civil war, but Democrats want to provoke it, all in the name of saving democracy. We don't have a democracy again. The left says there's a civil war brewing, a conflict whose roots it finds in parents angry about LGBT,
loose gay, butt twerking, queer community.
I can never pronounce that. Indoctrination in the schools, pro-life protesters in the January 6th fiasco, but not in the orgy of Black Lives Matter, anti-violence of 2020, chaos at the border, anarchy in the streets of our cities, or the pro-Hamas mobs swarming over college campuses, which is funny in ways you don't understand. The fact that Civil War is the most popular movie in the country, it's crap. It's just
not
garbage.
A good movie.
Not a good movie at all.
No.
Shows that the audiences will swallow any absurdity so long as it is sufficiently coated with graphic violence.
Okay, hang on a minute. All right. First of all, it's not just the left talking about the two-way rifle range. The right's talking about it as well. Yeah. I've been talking about the two-way rifle range for like half a decade.
We've been talking about it for years, yeah.
Yeah, for about a half a decade. I knew this was coming in some form or fashion when I was 12 years old. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, but you were kind of hoping for it when you were 12.
No, I just, I just was preparing. I've literally done nothing but study war since I was 12. So it is, because I knew this was coming.
I didn't know it was coming, but I studied war since I was about 12 years old.
It is fascinating, though.
It is fascinating, though. It also helped that I had a grandpa who had a bunch of World War II stuff in his garage.
There you go.
So there you have it. Civil War is about a future conflict that pits secessionist states, improbably led by Texas and California, against those loyal to the national government, mostly in the Northeast. That part is true. Look up Carpetbaggers and the Civil War. The film's director and screenwriter, Alex Garland, won't tell us what led to the carnage. A Brit, Mr. Garland knows about as much about U.S. politics as I do about Ethiopian architecture. There's no Ethiopian architecture. He recently told an interviewer, extremism encourages extremism, and extremism is dangerous. That is just a nonsense sentence.
Well, first of all,
absolutely a nonsense sentence.
All right. Blake and I have ripped this apart at least 2 or 3 times in the past decade.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever crazy shit goes down, they always find a way to put it under the extreme right.
Yes.
Like, if you look at the poster of the mass shooters, most of them are of...
They're black or Hispanic. They just are.
They just are.
Call it spade a spade.
Now, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to like the really competent mass shooters, they're white. Sorry. And they usually are the product of a single mother. But when you look at the FBI stats, a mass shooter is 2 or more wounded or dead. So that happens on the regular in Chicago.
Yeah, that's like
that's nothing.
Slow night in Detroit.
Yeah. If you take the violent stats out of the equation from the big blue cities, we go from being an extremely dangerous nation to one that is fairly peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact numbers.
I have seen the stats you're talking about, and we're somewhere near the top of the European stack.
Yeah.
If you remove the violent elements.
Here's another thing about Europe. All right. I get really sick and tired. I hear this from my former liberal friends who I've ditched because they're pieces of shit. They're all like, we should be like Europe. It's all peaceful over there. Kumbaya. Everyone gets along. They fought 2 fucking world wars across Europe between 1901 and 1999. Hundreds of millions of people were starved to death, put in concentration camps. What the fuck are you talking about, you dumb motherfuckers?
But other than that, Europe is peaceful and good.
No. When I was at Langstuhl recovering from the TBI blast, you could still see bullet holes in walls in some of these buildings.
Yes.
So come on.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here with that bull crap. I'm getting spun up. I'm starting to swear.
You are going down the hole, too.
I'm getting spun up.
President Biden, who looks like a walking cadaver, is digging a grave for representative government. We haven't had a representative government in some time, but okay. The president has decided he can ignore any laws or rulings he does not like. Most of the governments from the state level up are doing exactly that now. They're not just breaking the law. They're just ignoring the law entirely. The Supreme Court told him he lacked the authority to cancel student loan debt, but he did it anyway. At his inauguration, Mr. Biden promised to faithfully execute the office of the president, which includes securing our borders against the foreign invasion. Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution for the United States of America. Look that up. Article 4, Section 4. Clean up on aisle 4, Section 4. He immediately repealed every one of the former President Trump's executive orders which had impeded the influx. I warned about that coming all the way back to 2010 when I first saw it coming, and I have proof of it. The staggering number of illegals, currently at least 11 million, it's 34 million, including those on the terrorism watch list, hardened criminals, Chinese military and special operations forces, and trafficked women and children, testifies to his deliberate refusal to abide by his oath of office. Now his party is getting those who are here illegally to vote illegally to steal the next election. You might say this is civil war. The Democrats' bullets are the ballots. I've been saying this for a long time, too. The Democrats' weapon of choice is human carpet bombs.
Yep.
How do you defend against tens to hundreds of thousands of feral, non-English speaking, non-assimilated people being dropped into your communities? How do you defend against that?
Well, you're going to have to get medieval. I mean, I'm
it's the
sorry.
only way. They're only leaving you one choice.
Yeah, they're going to have to get booted out.
They believe that your choice is just to capitulate. They really believe that that's what Americans are going to do, because most of these decisions are coming from Europe, which is a culture of capitulation. They're used to being ruled.
Mm-hmm.
They're used to having rulers. They're used to having kings, lords, barons, blah, blah, blah. Americans don't do that very well. But these orders, and I have proved this multiple times, are coming from the WEF, which is just the Communist Fourth Revolution. It's the Fourth International.
Yep.
So, with all of that going on, and these people insisting that we want civil war while they cause civil war and bring civil war into the country.
The left is doing all the shit, and they accuse us of the same stuff.
That's exactly what they do.
And listen, they don't seem to understand. If this gets dynamic, it's going to be bad.
There's 20 years of veterans out there, of guys who thought they were fighting for their country. If they suddenly realize that they've been gaslighted, hoodwinked, and stolen from in the form of being lied to about their service, and they watch their buddies torn to pieces, blown up, mentally destroyed by the stuff that they all went through over there, what do you think their reaction is going to be? Do you think a federal office building is going to keep federal workers safe if those guys go off the rails?
No, it's not.
Because we're talking about some top tier guys.
Yeah.
Let alone the thousands of Marine infantry that are retired right now. If they stood up right now as one body, they could sweep this country clean in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd give it more time. They're old now.
That's fair.
So, but yeah, I mean,
it started in 2004.
But the thing
in earnest
is it's going to take like an event to start the tinder on fire.
Yeah.
And I'm just fearful of what that event will be.
Yeah.
All right. Because one, I'm trying to get the fuck out of the way. I'm old. I don't want anything to do with that. And I don't want to get sucked into it. And I know once it begins, guys like me, we're not going to be allowed to be neutral. We're going to have to either run to get the hell out of the way, which I'm planning to do, or pick a side or get eliminated. And that's just the way it's going to be.
All I want is to raise my chickens, man. I've been saying it over and over again. I'm too old for this crap.
Yeah.
I want to raise my chickens, hang out with my dogs and my wife and my kid, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
I want to go fishing.
But that's fine.
I want to do drop some crab pots, do some fishing, scuba diving.
Oh, I should get a boat. There's a lake next to my house. We can go fishing. Probably not very good for scuba diving anyway.
No.
So, did I switch the screens? I did switch the screens. Good. Texas Supreme Court justice implies Democrats will cheat in the 2024 election. This is part and parcel of the whole Civil War thing. Justice John Devine's comments in a conservative event are the latest to prompt concerns about his impartiality as a jurist. The Democrats are concerned that the judges are going to call them out on their cheating. Why would the Democrats be concerned that the judges are going to call them out on their cheating? Because they plan to cheat.
Yeah.
They plan to cheat.
They know. Well, first of all, the Democrats, in my opinion, haven't had a platform to fucking operate on in about 15 to 20 years. And even before that, their strategy was free shit. We'll protect you. We'll help you. You're downtrodden. We'll help you. In the meantime, Baltimore's still a shithole. Detroit's still a shithole.
All of this was designed to break the system.
Yeah.
You are not seeing failure. What you're seeing is success.
Well, you can look at it that way. Yeah.
Their plan is, this is how the Communist Party works. Their plan is to break the system to the point where we start begging for help, at which point they will have a solution. Like the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
The anthrax attacks, 9/11, all of those bombings. All of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, we need more national security. Oh, look, a Patriot Act. Isn't that cool? You notice all of that stuff stopped.
Like I read this book here that somebody sent me, Where Did the Towers Go?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a firm believer that there's no fucking way jet fuel has enough energy to melt iron.
I already told you how it happened.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. We're going off subject. But
we are going off subject. It was a planned attack.
Yeah, and listen, this needs to come to an end. Yeah. We need to be able to figure out who's doing what to who, and shut this shit down and hold people accountable.
Yes.
Okay, that just needs to happen. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It's off the chain entirely. Let's see here. Do you really think Democrats are going to roll over and let Trump be president again? Devine asked in a keynote speech at a Texas Tea Party Republican Women's 2023 Christmas event. Wow, that's a lot of words. You think they're just going to give away all of a sudden, find Jesus and there will be an honest election? I don't think so. He's not wrong.
No, he's absolutely correct.
But Devine is a former anti-abortion activist. He hates women, who claims that the church-state separation is a myth. It is a myth. As a state district judge in Harris County in the 1990s, fought to have a copy of the Ten Commandments posted in his courtroom. It used to be in every courtroom in the United States of America. Go ahead and look it up.
Yep.
And his successful 2012 campaign for Texas Supreme Court, he claimed to have been arrested 37 times at anti-abortion protests in the 80s and has since been a reliable ally of conservative Christian voters in the state. That's the enemy that these Bolsheviks hate the most, is the Christian conservative.
Yep.
As the enemy that they hate the most. Because it's the backbone of America. It is, whether or not you're Christian or not, if you go back and look, the backbone of the nation is white European Christian males who also have a very strong nationalist streak.
And we're good at war.
And we're very good at war. We're alarmingly good at war. Devine acknowledged in his speech that the court could hear more election cases, including those involving Harris County, which Devine accused of trying to bastardize the election laws where it expanded voting access during COVID-19 pandemic, which was used to break the voting laws, not expand them. Many of the country's protocols were later shot down by the Texas Supreme Court. So here in Michigan alone, there are 3 cases against various members of our Secretary of State and our Board of Elections and everything, and a lot of people rallying together to fight back against all of this. I've seen the data. I've got a copy of the data myself, of the polling data, where most of the people have 2 or 3 voter IDs.
Ooh, that's bad.
I have 2. I voted in Rochester in 2022.
I only have 1.
I lived in Lapeer in 2022, but I voted in Rochester.
Okay.
I reported this to the police. They did nothing. I filed a proper police report. I showed them the information. They've been told to do nothing. It went up to the sheriff. The local police kicked it to the sheriff, and the sheriff says, "Oh, we don't have the bandwidth to do anything about this right now."
Well, this whole voting fiasco shit is going to lead to a toy rifle range.
Yes,
because I'm going to tell you this right now. 90% of this country, outside of the big cities, are conservative individuals. They're not these freaky liberals with nose knockers with blue hair who want to murder children and groom their kids.
Yep.
And guess what? If those people are not able to be represented, they will become ungovernable. And
Yep.
one of the big symptoms of being ungovernable is freedom seeds get released into the wild.
Yeah. So that little piece that I read there about Judge Devine in Texas was about how he thinks the elections are going to be stolen. They're going to be stolen.
I think they are.
I think they are too.
I think the Michigan 2022 ones, I think were
Clearly stolen.
Clearly stolen.
Clearly stolen.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.